What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and today's the day. Technically, last night was the day where the early impressions for Scream 2022 came out. So I tried to like them all, heart them all on Twitter. I'm just going to kind of rifle through as many as I personally saw, and we'll talk about them at the very end. I do want to do a couple things right now, though, or at least say one thing. These are people, and I'm not, calling out their credibility. To be quite honest with you, I don't care all that much, and that's kind of the point. I am, again, I'm going to read these. We're going to talk about them, but I do just want to make it very clear. I do not watch any movie on planet Earth based off of what people like this say about it. They are just, they're individuals that have opinions. Take it for what you think it's worth. And, these are also the people that literally were able to see it last night. They're going to interview the cast today. So if you want to go down the path of maybe they'd be biased because how bad could they really say certain things are, you could go down that route. There is one negative thread of Twitter comments on this movie. The rest that I saw, and again, we're going to read them all, were all positive. All positive except for one. So let's just rifle through it. And you know what? We'll start with that one bad one. The MN Movie Man says, "You want to know the real killer in Scream? Bad acting, slow pacing, the absence of Marco Beltrami's essential score, and an almost maniacal lack of self-awareness that it's slicing its own throat with every obvious twist. Taking many stabs at requels and fifth installments in particular to beat detractors to the punch might have worked with more clever execution, but it's truly a sad return to Woodsboro in the new Scream movie." And this is from a huge fan of the previous four, who went in convinced they'd love this one and appreciate the new cast, directors, and direction. "I was not out to troll this in the least. Neve Campbell is ferociously excellent, though, a Scream Queen legend. It's only when the Legacy members show up occasionally in Scream when you get an idea of just how once-in-a-lifetime the original cast was. Even the dwindling sequels maintain that sense of, fun with Ghostface that's totally lacking here. And it's clear why Wes Craven isn't here to lead the way. I think Scream underestimated just how much his touch meant to the tone." So let's just keep that in mind, and let's rattle through some others. Heather Wixson, "As someone who has been in love with this franchise for a little over 25 years, I totally and completely loved it. Brutal kills, fun mystery, and both the Legacy cast and newbies were great. Wes would be proud." Simon Thompson says, "Scream freaking slays. It's a textbook example of how to revive and reinvigorate a franchise and to do it in a killer style. Brutal genius. It has the razor-sharp smarts of the finest entries in the series with a third act that absolutely nails it. Two thumbs way up." Megan Navarro says, "What a welcome return to Woodsboro. A razor-sharp, bloody introspection on the genre and Wes Craven's legacy. All the feels and one hell of a genre to start 2022. Eric Anderson, "I love Scream. It pokes fun at itself, elevated horror, and has a lot to say about the movie fandom. It leans deep into legacy in the right ways and uses the Scream family to great and surprising effect. New crew is excellent too, especially Jenna Ortega. The Scream movie is it." This comes from Miriam. "The nostalgia of it all took me back to the original film instantly. The cast was great. It's hilarious. And of course, the jump scares got me good. Shout out to the writers on this one because the writing of this is superb." Grace Randolph, "Wow. Scream movie has teeth. Hollywood came out to play. Avoid spoilers at all costs. Mute necessary words here on Twitter. Oh, if you want the full experience, make sure you've seen Scream and Scream 4. And then she goes on. Eric Davis, "The new Scream is a blast and my favorite since the original. There's some sharp writing here, a nice balance of well-crafted scares and amusing commentary on modern horror. It also pokes a lot of fun at itself too, while remaining a bloody whodunit and a damn good time. I'm a fan." Paul says, and I believe this is the last one I at least hearted, "Fans will have a killer good time with Scream. Ghostface is brutal and relentless. The two directors, Tyler and Matt, bring the suspense, the laughs, and an emotional return for Neve, Courtney, and David. Make sure to subscribe for more." A little plug, I guess, to his stuff. So that's all the stuff. Now, some of these go into more than one, Twitter comment, more threads. You see reoccurring themes here, okay? And again, I don't want to put... I do. I want to put a lot of emphasis on it. Obviously, I'm making a video on it, but I also don't want to put too much emphasis on it because this is just a group of, how many did I even read? 8 or 10, right? These are 10 people. They do not speak for the entire fandom. They certainly don't speak for all the people in general that are going to see this movie, right? I don't know who thinks Grace Randolph speaks for them. Let me just ask you that question. No, I don't think she's as bad as a lot of people say. Anyway, again, you can kind of find some things that seem very similar. I guess a couple things I do want to say, and a couple of these maybe are negatives, or at least the first one to come off the top of my head. Again, this MN movie man, some of the stuff is a little contradictory, right? He says he loves all four, but then he goes on to say that they get worse each one, right, as it goes on. Now, I don't know if that necessarily is contradicting, but he doesn't talk about it as if he's a massive fan. But that's just one Twitter. I can't judge the guy's opinion on it based off one Twitter thread, but he's the only one that really goes against the grain here, which I wonder what that says. And really, I guess another negative I would say, even on those positive ones, I don't see a. I did see some people say that the actress who plays Liv is a standout, and then obviously the one who said Jenna Ortega is a standout. Now, the scary thing is, we don't know who lives and dies, like, at the end. So, like, if Liv was good, like, one of the better characters, and then she's dead, well, you lost one of your better characters. Or maybe it wasn't Liv. Maybe it was actually Mindy. I can't remember which one. But say one of them lives or one of them dies. Jenna Ortega, maybe she's, like, the final girl moving forward. Like, for 6, they do, like, a switcheroo with her and Sam. But Sam is the final girl here and the main character. And I don't see anybody talking about her. Now, obviously, these people can't go into super in-depth, this is not a review, right? So maybe I'm being too harsh on these guys, but it's just a lot of this is on kills. I mean, I guess the kills are important, but they're, to me, yes, like, say if Dewey dies, right? Of course, that's going to be a fundamentally important part of this movie, but I don't know, like, the execution of, like, oh, this person died from a flamethrower and this person died from this. I don't know if I care too much about that. And so a lot of these people are praising the kills. Some of them are praising the writing, although the one said the writing is terrible. The comedy and meta-ness, right? That seems to be a big theme. Everybody's talking about how good they do at that. There's definitely some that I did read that I did not heart, that did talk, more positives on the movie. There were some that said it gets better as it goes, like the first act is slower and is maybe the worst of the 3 or the most boring, and yet I saw, like, another person said the opening is really cool. So, and I had this conversation with one of my followers, or one of the community members on Twitter, and the Grace Randolph thing with, like, watch 1 and 4. Why do you need to watch 4? Is it just for Judy? And to set up that, like, she'll be sheriff and that Dewey retires? Like, is that why, or is there a bigger reason why we need to watch Scream 4? So that was just kind of an interesting thing that came from, what she said. So, bottom line, am I happy with what they said? Absolutely, I am. I mean, this is probably the best case scenario we could have hoped for. One bad, really, I read maybe 8 or 9 in all. 1 was bad, the rest were good, and then I easily probably saw 3, 4, 5 other ones that were also positive. So overall, we have 1 out of, like, 15 that's negative. But again, though, none of them really go in depth. I'm a little worried that nobody at all mentioned Sam, or, like, by name, Melissa Barrera. Not a single like, we had Nev, we had people saying how good the Legacy cast was, and then again, we had Jenna Ortega, and then maybe the actress for Mindy, or maybe for Liv. And that's, so, like, where's the rest of them? Like, did Dylan Minnette do good? Did Melissa, and I guess that one just scares me the most because she's the main character, right? So if she's kind of lackluster, we've talked about what that means, I think, and what that could do to the film franchise moving forward if she's not a good final character. But maybe if, Tara is a good character, Jenna Ortega is, and she's better, maybe they could just swap them, for future movies. We don't really know. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed. I will do the same thing generally for when the reviews go up. So the reviews go up next Wednesday morning. I'll do a video on that as well. There won't be spoilers, or if there are, I'll make sure I note them. But we'll kind of do the same thing of talking about what the critics are saying. But again, personally, I do not go based off of them. I'm happy that they're positive, but I'm not making any decisions based off of what people that write for the EW and, the Extra TV or whatever these stupid sites are called. I do not care at all, really, what they say. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. All my other social media is in the description below if you guys want to check any of that stuff out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.